looks like BlossoM might be
was blasted.
They might be blasted. Looks like BlossoM is on their last legs here, down 0-2 now, and they had the Sonya matchup in their favor, but the lane swaps coming in destroyed their early game potential to gain extra value from the Sonya. Dahaka got extra soak as a result. The usage of basically what L5 did rotation-wise to grab objectives when the commitment was there for the top lane Dahaka. The triple gank that failed, where they brought the Karazim and the Rhaegar to try to get kill, didn't work out. Well, we're headed into a third game now, and all hope is not lost. Their drafting looked promising, at least on Sky Temple. They banned the Zarya. They did their homework. And maybe, just maybe, with this next draft, they can bring it back.
Yeah, just maybe, but I don't think... Still, to this day, they're keeping the hyper carry for BlossoM, but I don't think it's still fitting them too perfectly. They should... I think it's about time to go back, just maybe bring in some surprise cards, like some mages, which has been working pretty well. Sometimes Wiz's Medivh can be a turning card for them. Of course, they're up against L5, can be very tough. But right now, it seems like L5 is just having their day. And 6 spell towers and game number 2. Game number 3 should also be okay. But this is about time when BlossoM, if they strike back, I think L5 will be very surprised.
I think so too, and I think maybe this is the one where you pull out the Medivh strat.
Yep.
Maybe we go to Spider Queen. You do some Medivh stitches.
BlossoM's favorite too.
Yeah. Maybe you just let L5 take their first top tier S tier pick they want for first pick, but you draft against it. You draft your own style. You break the meta. Maybe that's how you could do it. I mean, BlossoM's done that many times before. Competitively in their history to take games off of big teams, defeating MVP Black at the beginning of Phase 2 with the Cho'Gall pick. Infernal Shrines could be another map pick where they try to draft into that. I feel like that one's a little bit more obvious. It was banned away from them several times on the map. And I imagine if they probably tried to do that again, it would just be an oral ban from L5. But there are ways to kind of play around this. I think we're probably going to go to Cursed Hollow if it's L5's pick. And it is their pick. This is kind of how it always goes with L5. Always the Sky Temple into the Cursed Hollow. It's just how they play it. And that's what they like to do. And the maps they feel comfortable on.
BlossoM has been struggling with the shot calling and their decision to distribute their resources, their players, how many to send up top, to mid, soak in EXP for camping. It has been the favorite of L5 so far. And this map is the map which they excelled at to the end. I think BlossoM will have similar problems as they had game 1 and 2 unless they bring something else. And this is also the map for Wiz's Medivh. I think he can do some parts and slightly move away from the double tank, double support.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're talking about supports and carries too, like Genji as a solo DPS is just never consistent enough, unfortunately. He has burst damage with the Dragon Blade, otherwise he's mostly poke. And you need your tanks and your solo laner to actually do enough damage to actually get you those kills, which just has consistently not been happening. Alright, all hope is not lost. They will ban the Genji, speaking of which. Not away from themselves, but away from L5.
L5 can just stick with their Tastar and Avatar ban. I think they will very, very likely going to. This one also, Avatar can provide a lot of damage, especially late game when you have a gank attempt, especially some heroes like Zeratul. Those stealth heroes gain a lot of value when they make those gank.
I wonder if BlossoM will actually pick the Avatar here and try to run a comp with that. It's very risky, but I think they need to take crazy risks in the draft right now if they want to take a map. If they try to play tryhard too, remember that. And by that I mean play absolutely meta and play as if they're as good as L5 and mechanically, which they are not. If they do that, then whoever they play against next also knows how they're drafting and what they think is the best, so they show a lot. I think in this third game, you really just pull out the extra strategy. It will take Ariel. That's at least a move in a slightly different direction.
Yeah, it's a start, then it's open this time. L5 will be just happy to take whatever is left. Uther.
Uther Greymane probably. Vala, Uther was their rotation against the Genji pick though on Sky Temple.
They don't even have to go for Uther this time. They can switch up this map. They sometimes brought out Falstad, some Li Mings for ranged. Especially L5 on this map does not really prefer to place too many millies.
Yeah. They prefer running Zhangha's Illidan on Sky Temple and Warhead Junction specifically in the past. Oh, is it Tyrael Illidan? Are they going all in with this already? Or is it just going to be Tyrael Greymane? Nope. Just getting both vulnerabilities out of the way. Invulnerabilities, I should say. Excuse me.
Yeah, these two are another way of flexing. Without the Task Star. That's double way of protection. This is hinting that they will maybe go hyper carry 1 DPS. There are lots of tools though. L5 can utilize Vala, Lunara, even Tracer sometimes. Let's see, which DPS is BlossoM going to take though? They should grab at least one.
Well, I mean, Vala is tempting, but I think Greymane has been more consistent for them.
But without the range, they will be banned and taken away from the other side. Very likely.
Yeah.
I
think if you take the Vala and you ban the Greymane, you get into a pretty good spot with this. We'll force probably an Illidan draft. Yep, take the Vala, take the ETC, ban the Greymane. And then you've controlled the hyper carry meta here. Doesn't mean that L5 can't run Illidan Li Ming, and they absolutely will, and they have BlossoM has very limited opportunities to run the Arthas. Or sorry, BlossoM has limited opportunities to run the Arthas, so I think that's the fallback plan here for L5. Does it mean that this is a mistake for BlossoM if they've taken this path? No. But it at least moves L5 out of the meta and the comfort zone that moves them away from what they've been practicing more than anything else.
But L5 already used lots of Lunara against the Vala to counter the ranged SCSC. Has been dominant on that Lunara. I wonder if BlossoM will use their ban card to actually ban one of the DPS that can be countered to Vala.
Lucio?
I think they're going in with a support choke. Very likely they will also take Rehgar themselves.
The obvious ban here should be the Greymane. However, if it feels too predictable, what everything else that will happen, could ban the Illidan as well. Problem is that you still give the Rehgar to L5, and they still have strong double support for the Greymane. I feel like the Illidan is at least more counterable. The Illidan Li Ming is more counterable than the Greymane. So I don't think they're thinking along the same lines as me, because if they were, then they would have locked in this a long time ago.
There are still lots of choices. They can also think about tanks possibly. Tyrael may be the only tank needed for L5, and the rest could be just okay. So in case
that speaks more to the Illidan, I think.
Illidan and other DPS choices, even with Greymane, they can't really snipe one because L5 is a giant hero pool, so they want to lessen the power they could have with the Avatar pick.
Well, I think this very well could just go down into a... This could still be a Greymane Illidan. This could be a Greymane Sonya coming out for L5. There's no fear of Johanna because ETC is already picked early.
The standard one will be Lunara, as I mentioned.
Sure.
And last time they also brought in Sergeant Hammer. I don't think it was L5, but still.
Yeah, you don't need Hammer with this, though. You're not too worried about the bot lane because you can dominate mid instead. Hammer can control that if that's how you want to approach this map. Play it like it's Dragonshire. Will be Lunara and the Kharazim. So the last pick will be the solo laner. Interesting if we'll ever see a Lunara Sonya game. Don't know if we will. And now for BlossoM, how do they deal with the Lunara? Lunara is going to give the extra sustain in that 3-man in the bot lane in terms of damage. extra wave clear. Wallace should still win out. They have ETC, so if they end up losing that somehow exchange-wise, they can use ETC to counter pressure the Lunara.
Come on, BlossoM. This can be your last chance of today. Cho and
Illidan, yeah. No, Cho and Gall, you really think they can pull it off here with the Ariel? I don't think so. Not leaning towards that one. Let's see. Zarya. So it's the Sky Temple draft a little bit here. Actually, the Falstad coming out, though. So bringing out the Global. So they are definitely playing a different game. They're going to try to control the early game hard. They have Zarya, ETC. Falstad can push hard there, too. They have Vala for good sustain. Then they'll send Falstad to be the solo laner after the early game. They're going to force basically lane swaps and responses out of L5.
Then Dehaka for L5 to just response for the global. Maybe they don't even need the global. Let's see. I think with Falstad coming out from the other side, I think you do need to catch up because there's also ETC potential with the stage dive. Dehaka has been the choice for Jungha many times.
Dehaka and Sonya are the top choices. Malthael doesn't really offer you much. He can be really strong with Uther and Tyrael in the team fights.
So I think they're considering, is Lunara enough damage against all the shields available on the other side?
I think they're worried about the early game and dealing with the split pushing power. Even a specialist choice here wouldn't be crazy for L5 because they know this is exactly what BlossoM's all about. Zeratul. Zeratul is going to be how they punish the heavy pushing. I love this pick. They've already figured it out. They already know that what BlossoM wants to do is to destroy everybody at level 1, try to get a massive lead, disrupt the meta in terms of how laning works, in terms of the hyper carry meta. It's exactly what you wanted from BlossoM, is what they're doing, but L5 has tried to find the answer here in this Zeratul pick.
Yep, they can just go back, and of course the old Falstad counter is a Zeratul, and the threat actually gives a lot more pressure to Falstad, so he cannot fly away all the time.
All right, guys, we are going into what could be the last game of the night on Cursed Hollow. BlossoM, got a cool enough draft to get a second intro music playing.
Yes.
Let's go into this third and potentially final game of Cursed Hollow. In blue, L5, Hooligan on Tyrael, SC on Lunara, Jungha on Zeratul, SDE on Karazim, and Swoi on Uther.
In red, BlossoM, Wiz on Falstad, Gondar on ETC, Mora on Ariel, Dudu on Vala, and No Chat on Zarya. Wiz on Falstad this time. There were two favorites from No Chat, the old Falstad and Zarya, so Wiz. Ooh.
So because
was a quick one.
Because L5 knew what BlossoM was going to do, they took a risk in one sense, and they went mid because they knew they'd get there faster. And then if BlossoM had gone mid too, they would have met them and fought them. They don't have as fast of a clear in terms of structures that BlossoM has. Remember, this is the idea behind the Zarya pick. It's the level 1. They want to dominate. They have so much sustain here. And they're actually then rotating from mid to top to do the same thing to bully Falstad up there in the solo lane. This is actually a really funny sight.
B-step, sprays. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Zarya is trying to push the bot fort down completely now. Zeratul alone will not be able to do much against this, to be honest. He will live for a long time. He'll threaten if anyone makes a mistake, like Mora is right now. In fact, Mora, if Jungha were in position, he would literally kill Mora right now. So he's down there for the potential grabs, the potential kills there. Falstad is having to come back now. What a crazy world it is, though, that L5 with this comp will actually be able to do the same. In fact, might even be able to do more.
So they're trying to, because it's taking a long time, they're trying to punish. Vala is coming up. Ariel. Ooh, Karazim dies.
They don't even need the rotation up.
Nice catch from Wiz.
Falstad's going for the flight. They're looking for the kill. Onto SC.
Wiz might die, though. I think they're worried about, oh, the heal comes in time. Nice punishment coming out from BlossoM. Great rotational work.
That was a really cool flight. I don't think L5 respected the potential flight Split pushing going down here for Jungha because they committed all the resources to get that gank. And now they're going to, remember I said this from the beginning, they were going to try to control the towers and control experience with the level 1 lead they're always going to have in the early game with the Zarya. No one can match this DPS, period, in the game. Never going to happen, never in a million years. Sylvanas is like, no, but I could disable the towers. No Jet's like, well, the towers make me stronger, so I actually don't want to disable them. And now 2 walls dead. But Jungha, if he survives here, he's done almost as much as what they've been able to accomplish. Is Wiz going to fly for it? Nope. This is actually a really favorable tribute spawn for L5, considering how many resources BlossoM has sent to the top of the map.
But because Jungha was forced to go back, this will be going to BlossoM.
Yeah, nobody can contest it.
Nicely
He did have to go back.
Wiz, so far his false step play has been working, but due to getting caught and more than enough poison damage and auto attack coming in, without the 4, maybe they will continue to go in.
They want it, and there's just not a lot of heals. Moro just 1 second too late to get the heal onto Vala. They're already targeting down No Chat because they want more than just this pick onto Auriel. Gondar is coming up.
Now Hooligan is doing the body blocks. Gondar comes in at perfect time to save his teammate, but already lost 2.
Okay, L5 behind in tributes, struggled to deal with the early pressure that BlossoM put on. John wasn't able to do enough, wasn't able to get any picks, but now finally that early game value that Zarya was gaining is over. Now we're going into objective phase, team fight phase, where Zarya will have to use the build that she did use on Sky Temple to get maximum damage when, after Vala does the early damage, build that energy as we've seen so many times already, and then carry those fights. It is doable, and it will make Zeratul life hell when he's trying to team fight there up in close quarters. Well, let's see how this one pans out. Tribute spawn again in favor of BlossoM. They're in better position. This is going to force a huge rotation up for L5, who again does not have a global hero. So Falstad can stay bottom to get the extra soak, and they have the cap in the bottom lane.
I think this game's a lot of pressure on the Jungha because BlossoM has tons of resources and heroics available for the zone control, but hold on to that moment and Power Slide will catch Hooligan, does take a lot of damage, but onto the pressure of L5.
Dudu's down already. That's all their damage gone. Wiz does fly up.
Jungha will be going down from Wiz.
No Chat doing so much damage here. Not going to matter at the end of the day.
2 for trade, and Jungha survived that somehow.
Yeah, Wiz also will survive. So 2 for 3. Nearly a 2 for 4. Jungha gets the tribute. They do lose a lot of lane pressure in the bot lane, but this actually puts the wave in a position where Jungha can actually get the soak safer now. And they're just going to go down there to clear it. Not going to really threaten the keep wall. Lunar is actually split soaking top right now. It does send the Wisp out just to be safe. And they will clear both top waves, which will give them a very slight experience lead at the end of the day. This game is so close. And BlossoM has already shown us that despite the fact that this comp looked to be mostly an early game composition with the Zarya, that they can team fight well, they can maximize the energy and get extra damage done. They almost won that last fight. And that's what makes me feel like this game is way closer than the experience bar is showing.
Yeah, also with Zeratul, I think L5 should have been a little bit more pressuring. But if they could have had more chance, they could have got more kills. But BlossoM, they defended well, made pretty good rotations, punishing L5 actually. And once they hit 10, they have so much camp and zoning tools. They have Gust, Mosh Pit, and also Zarya's heroic available. And all L5 has is basically Void Prison. But that Void Prison with Sanctification, is that going to be enough? I think Jungha's pressure, using that Void Prison at the perfect timing, will be the crucial moment in the team fight every time.
They need to get kills while people are in the Void Prison.
Yes.
It's not going to be a combo Void. It's going to be a, I got 2 in the Void Prison, let's win the 5v3 real quick. And then afterwards, the fight is ours sort of scenario. Sure, you can combo the Thornwood Vines with it, but you're really reaching at that point. All right, it is going to be Expulsion Zone. We did see 1 Graviton Surge recently, so I always have to check. I knew it was very likely to be that for the zoning potential. Angelian Blast is also being
Mosh
held.
Pit plus Blast?
I don't think that's going to be what we see. I think he's just trying to be sneaky. Like I said, I think pretty much all the time you never want to lock in if you're thinking highest high level until you actually lock it in. But gonna trade caps here. This is the first favorable tribute spawn on blue side for L5 that we've had all game. And it's their curse point. But BlossoM has a positional advantage. They get here first. They knew the tribute spawn. Obviously, we knew they're both the first ones were on the right side, on red side, so they knew it was going to be blue sides. They were in position. Jungha's looking for the pick onto Dudu.
Let's see, Dudu's very low and takes down all the damage. Can they focus enough? I think they're just buying time. Explosions are pretty well placed.
Okay, Dudu's still very low, and Aegis is still available. Gust was actually decent here to help them retreat. Dudu's still surviving. They're diving really deep, L5 is, but they can't compete with the healing. And now they can rotate back for the tribute. Can they buy time while they're doing this?
I think SD has more than enough time to actually go and get the tribute alone. Oh, actually,
it's interrupted. Look at all the damage SD is doing. Very risky positioning. Kiting back against Gondar. Wiz is the target.
Alone, and Jungha looked for the kill, but was so close for himself too. Hooligan may go down.
Divine
has to
Shield.
be Divine Shielded. Still has Sanctification available, but is it going to come in time?
The mosh pit here is really good. That's Lunara, and that's a one fight now for BlossoM. They can't lose this fight anymore. Gondar will get taken out with Swoy on the retreat. Uther OP, I guess. It's going to be the expulsion zone that kills him at the end of the day. A one fight for BlossoM means we go 2-2 on tributes, and taking the boss here is definitely a possibility. It's a good spawn for them to actually take it. Looks like they're not willing to do so. Short death timers on the side of L5. They're not confident enough. L5 or MVP Black would have at least tried it, but they have to deal also with that top pressure that's up there with these Siege Giants.
That was a good fight from BlossoM. They focused on the Tyrael on purpose, so they would get at least one of the two out, either Divine Shield or Sanctification. Sanctification was not even used. He went down before using it.
L5
Great
goes
focusing.
to boss because they thought there was a chance that BlossoM would, well, now they know Falset's top, but you know, there was considering the possibility that BlossoM was going to take their boss, they wanted to do a last-minute contest with the Sank they saved. That's why they used Divine Shield instead of the Sank, knowing the boss contest would happen afterwards. They come over here, so now they're probably thinking BlossoM's taking boss very soon, although BlossoM just shows themselves mid. So L5's like, wow, I guess you just gave us a boss for free, despite winning the team fight beforehand. BlossoM just still not experienced enough to take these advantages and turn them into bigger leads, despite winning the first team fight of the series, dominantly, mind you. They still weren't able to get the capitalization they needed. And now L5's in better position to get this curse. With the boss pushing, every second they buy is a win for L5.
Again, focusing on to Hooligan, forcing Divine Shield, the Sanctification, cancelled by the Void Prison.
Stuck at 7 seconds. Will have to survive long enough to use it. Will he be able to do so? I don't know. The heals are so clutch here. Hooligan wants that Divine Shield.
He dies.
He's not going to get it. Not going to have it. Lunara, not enough damage here. That's the kill on the Zeratul. And another one team fight for BlossoM. The boss gets a fort, but they're going to get a curse.
Wow. They're focusing so well on Hooligan every time, forcing out Divine Shield, and he's panicking. We can feel that happening.
I think the Void Prison there ruined everything because it stacked on top of the Sank, which interrupted it. Wiz is actually going to get picked off 2v1 here. But the cool things for BlossoM are just how they are able to know what they're capable of doing against Lunara's damage, where the heals are coming out from Ariel in AoE, keeping everybody alive. There's no finishing blows. It's just slow, sustained damage from L5, and it's against an Ariel pick. And unfortunately for L5, this is just not successful so far. They're winning a lot of other things. Their rotational play has been better. Their control of the map, their understanding of macro is better, sure. And you would say they're the mechanically better team, but it doesn't feel like mechanics are adding up here. L5 is, you know, still struggling against this composition. Curse will expire in 3. This leaves BlossoM with a clear advantage towards level 16. But for the rest of the game, because they didn't get a keep, they will have to be aware that any additional tribute for L5 could mean the end of their keep and the end of their lead, so they need to maintain this. Taking a boss before the next tribute would be one way to do so. When they have a 16 advantage, maybe that's what they try to do. It's tough against Sanctification. You can understand the fear of BlossoM to try to contest bosses with L5.
Notice the positioning of Gondar all the time. Hooligan's getting pressured again. He seems like he will be alone right over the wall. Druin's away, but the damage, the healing comes in time.
He's going to get away this time. Such a huge moment.
Barely.
Such a huge moment. But their targeting of him has actually been really good. Looks like Hooligan just simply not really positioning himself against BlossoM, expecting that he would be the target. You would expect the targets to be Lunara, sometimes the Kharazim, and he is always a target. He's a solo tank Uther, which is always the tough one All right, this is a great time to boss for BlossoM. No scout either. On the side of L5, they don't know this is happening. And this means they're going to get away with it. So finally, BlossoM takes this opportunity to take a boss fight with the Sanctification against them. Still, knowing they have 16, L5 was not going to go in there. They knew Tyrael was low. L5 catches up in experience for this, but getting that curse now with the boss against them is going to be so much more difficult, especially because that boss is marching directly to the keep wall.
They have to send a lot of their men to the top because they do not want to get pressures on the top lane where they should be the ones pressuring. And then once you're against all that glow, Falstad has been moving around the map because they had all the pressure, the right resources. Jungha could not do too much, actually pressuring onto Falstad all the time. He was often forced to go clear a wave, go push the bottom because they were losing EXP. And Jungha, if you have to soak in EXP, you can't go in your stealth mode, try to be like an assassin. You're of course just soaking in lane if you're going to do that from the beginning. I think the Haka could have been a better pick, of course, because of his boss control from the other side. I think they picked Zeratul, but so far it's not working out for them.
Not as well as they would have liked. The boss timing is just unfortunately not enough to work out with the tribute. L5 is headed back towards us. They need an interrupt though, and they're not getting in position. Gondar secures this tribute for BlossoM, blocking every skill shot, blocking the rotation over. BlossoM was definitely shaking in their boots when they saw that the tribute came up after the boss was already deleted, after they knew L5 was rotating over, but Gondar again, in proper positioning, will secure them this tribute.
Seems like Hooligan didn't have... Maybe Aldrin's was on cooldown. I think he was the only one in range to stop that from happening.
I mean, Thornwind Vines were just barely out of range. I mean, it was really close. They just didn't get over quick enough. Not that that's their fault, but just timing worked out that way, and Gondar did block them, so... Now... BlossoM keeps the hopes alive of getting a double tribute here. Jungha looking to use this cloak to maybe get a pick. Very difficult. Wiz did take hammer gains, which has kept him alive several times against the threatening Zeratul.
Now you see Hooligan being safe and going around his zone, and SDE is still not being safe and just because he has dashes available. But this one seems like they want to fight this one a little bit more.
Okay, no chat under attack here. Will be bleeding most of this damage down. Needs to be together with Mora to get those heals. Okay, no chat is the target. Jungha wants him. It's giving him a lot of energy though. Now he's actually built up a lot of beefy energy.
Now some CC and the threat from Zeratul is out. Tutu goes into the front, but Lunara doing tons of damage to multiple targets at once.
BlossoM is stuck in this awkward choke point where they can't advance without taking massive damage. Look at that holy ground.
The Bosch Pit comes out onto two. Lunara does no damage when... Oh, actually, Void Prison kind of cancels out.
Yeah, Void Prison does cancel out. The Sank finally goes off in this game here. And that's going to be the kill onto ETC. Void super well placed there. No follow-up damage. Dudu has to Aegis. The Divine Shield is used because he wants it. He wants
all
it.
The damage. SDA could not get the kill, but did so much damage. The pressure was there, and that's enough. They got the curse.
They got the curse. And now L5's chance to come back in this game comes with it. There's no boss on red side. It's still on cooldown. The boss on blue side will be available soon. L5 doesn't want to take it here until after the curse expires. They're going to get the maximum amount of value from this first. Heading directly towards the mid keep. Look at how much this wave is pushing right now. Only ETC down. He will be back in 10 seconds. Joss rotating in. No Void Prison or anything like that. Just looking to actually push the top lane. He was considering going for a pick, but with no other tools. Just continuing to maximize the experience lead they're going to gain from this. To look to try to rush to 20. Looking like they may even just carefully grab a little bit of more minions bot lane and then go for the boss. Making that rotation. They have Sanctification in 25 seconds. It will be very difficult for BlossoM to contest this. Actually moving away from boss.
It'll be tough because they just felt the pressure for coming out from a beautiful Void Prison coming out from Jungha. Great mosh, perfect pair up from all the free damage. Could have been done from Dudu, but that was all cancelled by one Void Prison coming out from Jungha. So knowing that, I think they were a little bit pressured at the same level, so they're not going all in. They could have gone all in if that team fight didn't go towards L5. They had more confidence to go in. But now after that team fight, BlossoM is slowly approaching. I think this is a better timing too. Falstad should come in anytime.
Okay, Falstad will need to come in, but I think they're too late. So super obvious what L5 was going to do.
An indecisive decision. SDE doing tons of damage already. Now onto the chase. SCSC.
Well, this is definitely going to be a tough retreat for BlossoM. And
while
they
go in with the Void Prison and try to stop everyone from retreating.
They need to
7-sided strike.
They need to mount. They need to hearth and get back home, or before this boss starts to work on this keep. It's already slightly damaged, this keep wall. All heroics available on the side of L5. Gondar is in a lot of trouble. The Void Prison goes down. Jungha doing a ton of damage.
Nochat is alone, barely gets Aegis, but is he going to survive with the shield available onto himself? He goes down first. And Sanctification is available for L5, so they can push all the way in.
Okay, they're looking to finish this keep off now. They've got the good poke here with Lunara. They need to be careful, though, with even Zarya dead. Very risky. Wants to come in, and Jungha does forces the power slide. Do not hit the Holy Ground, though. They cannot actually grab the pick. Holy Ground just slightly off there. That was what they wanted to actually get that kill. All the while, Wiz is actually soaking extra experience, does defend the mid keep. And that means that BlossoM is only half a level behind towards 20. As now they're going to look to maybe try to contest their own boss. Zarya's up in 25. They have Gust. They're going to get the camp first, though. That's going to lead them towards 20. That's why Wiz is soaking for this. This boss fight could actually decide the game. L5's rotating towards it with everyone except Lunara. She does rotate quickly with her Dryad legs. I guess that's what she is, technically. I never knew her character before this game. They are moving in, everyone except Lunara, towards that boss just to scout it out. This tribute is, by proxy, very insignificant. Will not grant a curse to either team. That's why they're basically ignoring it, going straight to boss right now.
And once 20 is reached, Epic Mound will come in very, very handy for BlossoM because they have global available. It'll be a lot frequently more available for Wiz.
I think he's definitely going to lock it in. He's holding it, though. Might want to get the Nexus Frenzy instead.
Or Nexus Frenzy? I don't think Falstead... Okay, yeah, it is Epic Mound.
He could have done it, but, you know, wanted to just make the decision first, because maybe if they need to do a fight and he's already in range, and then like they win the fight, they win the game. So
yeah, once 0-2 has rewind, Falstead is a dead chicken, from what I know from all the Hero League games, and he has to be careful. Even Gust will not be enough to save himself, so he has. So look at him retreating. He cannot really extend far behind.
Yeah. He didn't know where Zeratul was. Now he does, obviously in the bot lane. Oh, L5 is just posturing around this boss right now. BlossoM will try to come in and check. Okay, here we go. Next tribute is coming up. So L5 did sneak the last one. They're going to look to sneak this one too. BlossoM rotates away. And L5's not even going to look for the boss. They want to win this fight here over the tribute. Boss is just too risky for either team. They're both just happy to leave it yellow on the map. Missed power, missed Feather Melt there to try to reveal Jungha. He reveals himself instead. Dudu needs to get the back lines here.
SDE being super aggressive from the side as he's doing more damage than Zeratul right now.
That's right. Zeratul's sole purpose for this fight is to set up a great Void Prison. The follow-up is all just happiness and rainbows if you can get that done. Misses the engage here onto Mora. Gondar with a good power slide. Hooligan is immediately saved there.
The Holy Ground coming out. Sanctification a little bit too early. It seems like nice retreat coming out from BlossoM. The Gust is
pretty useless. And now Lunara is given so
Gondar
much room.
Going low, Aegis. Material dies off.
Yeah, Nochat's doing so much damage here. He's full energy, but
nice
he's not going to live.
Prison though. The Mosh Pit will delay the time, but CSC
Nochat's
does enough
alive.
damage.
Okay, there's the Aegis. It looks like BlossoM is going to win this fight. SC does survive for now. SD is looking for the kill here. He can't get it. The sustain is better for BlossoM. And Swoy just tries to survive here. He has redemption, but he will die twice. And that's going to be a long cooldown. This game may end soon. It's certainly probably going to end before that redemption cooldown comes back.
For sure, that Void Prison was another beautiful Void Prison, but BlossoM kept it together so well. And of course, losing Tyrael right after the Sanctification did not do too much. The trait value was 0 because they were all trapped in the Void Prison.
I feel like during this moment, BlossoM certainly could have been pushing harder instead of just clearing top lane. But they want to play it safe. They want to keep their hopes in this series alive. They could have made the core call, I think you could have argued, but...
I think core call could have been a missed call for sure.
There's literally 5v1 there with long death timers, but they just weren't sure. They would have shown to get there. They had to go all the way through the keep.
Yes, I think all the gates are still there, so I think they had to be safe about the decision a little bit.
Would not have been necessarily a core, but it's one of those moves where you get a keep, look for a pick to get core, but they get no keeps. That boss is going to go through a mercenary camp. Second one set up here for L5. Now this timing works really well for BlossoM because L5 will have to deal with the boss to save top keep, but they also need to rotate over to stop this tribute because a curse will be disastrous. It could cost them all 3 of their keeps. It's a catch-22 problem here for L5. There's not an easy solution. They're going to try to buy time here as they clear the boss. Doing so much damage to the boss right now, but now heading over, just going to leave the boss the majority of it.
If they try to do both, they may lose both, actually. Boss is doing a lot of damage, and Dudu will get the curse for BlossoM. And this one with the curse, if they want to go fully in, they can get more than a single keep.
And in rare form, L5 is indecisive. The Divine Shield having to be self-cast here to try to get Swoi out of here. Jungha is going to run away as that's the kill onto Hooligan. The boss is still working on the keep. Indecision for L5 is probably going to cost them this game in the late game. 45 seconds of curse left. The keep goes down. The top push is still going, but it's not going to last very long. And this time, BlossoM, I think, can reasonably look for picks to try to do that core call they were so indecisive about just moments before.
And this one should be enough. Even the Void Prison is out from Jungha. I think Rewind is also gone, so he should be dying. He does fall down, and that should be game going to BlossoM.
Okay, SDE is going to try to do one last fight here, but he's going to die, and BlossoM is going to take Cursed Hollow. They will win this map. They will bring us to a 4th game here. Wow. Very well played, very calculated, strong in the draft, better team fights here with the Vala versus the Lunara, and BlossoM takes it with some critical mosh pits. Gondar yet again proving his worth on the ETC.
His ETC play was incredible. They're focusing their strategy in game number 3 to focus on Hooligan from the beginning. I think he was very tilted after dying twice, and he didn't even drop a sync until at least 11-12 minutes in after hitting that level 10. So he was very frustrated after dying twice, and that worked out great for BlossoM.
And this really makes it seem like L5 will not be able to pass MVP Black. They cannot lose games to teams like BlossoM. Black will have to lose more games to similar level teams and lose a series in order for that to happen. So why everyone at L5 looks so upset right now in the booth, because it's losing this one game, even if they win the next one, is so important. Was it removes how many points they're going to get. They're only going to get 2 points for the series. Assuming they win the 4th game, maybe they lose it. They have to go to a 5th game. The comeback potential is definitely real here. I think that the momentum is now in BlossoM's court. And we get that rare game number 4, G-Clef, between these two. So now we're going to head to a different map, probably the map choice of BlossoM. And that Spider Queen map we were talking about may be coming out. I think that might be where we're headed.
Yep, because BlossoM loves to play on that battleground. I think their strategy works the best on that map. And Gondar really proving his worth on the ETC. Really zoned out pretty well. Those good power slide, multiple targets. Mosh Pits has a pretty good timing. It was cancelled by the Void Prison, but it's exactly what you want. You want the Void Prison to be used as a defensive tool, not as an offensive tool. And that was always used as a defensive tool, and they got to win right after. Great use of all the ETC power slide. I love ETC coming back in the meta with Mosh Pits, and because he's my favorite hero too, the most played.
Remember too, though, that also some of the fights we saw there were just Ariel out healing the Vala damage. Vala versus an Ariel is very difficult. Vala without an Ariel can work, but Vala against, Lunara against an Ariel is very difficult to use, and Vala can be difficult to use against an Ariel if she has a good battery, but when Ariel has the best battery in the game that she could ask for, the Vala versus Lunara, who does slow damage over time, and in an AoE where Ariel is just there to heal all of that, it works out really well. So I'm guessing one of the players needed a break or something, but finally we are going to that map that we expected, Tomb of the Spider Queen.